Most creative entrepreneurs think that if they just get better at their craft, then the business is going to follow. That's why you have people that are less talented than you that actually have 3 months booked while you're still chasing the next client. And the difference is not talent necessarily. Everyone is talented at this point, but because they built a real brand and you have portfolio to show people. So in this video, we're going to talk about the 5 things that you need as a creative entrepreneur to actually build a real brand. I have my notes here, so I'm going to be looking at that. Whatever you think about notes, it is what it is. I need my notes. So, number 1 is brand. Brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. This is the feeling that you give people. This is your reputation. This is not about social media. It's not about your YouTube videos. It's not about the videos that you post, but it is even in person. How do you make people feel? Rory Vaden poses it as personal brand online is the digitization of your reputation. So therefore, your brand is your reputation, whether digitized or not, just in person. How do you make people feel? Do you make them feel okay? Do you make them feel better about themselves when they're in your presence? Or do you just leave them with questions as to who you are? So you need to build a brand, right? Consistency. You need to be consistent. Consistency creates credibility. I have this client. They're in the personal brand space. They help people with their websites, and then they bring me in actually to help with the video content as well. But they've been doing the same thing for 20 plus years in the marketing space. They've built real brand. People know them for what they do. And so that's what brand is. When you say their names, people know and attribute them to X, Y, and Z. That's what a real brand is, and that's what you want to build. And you're building a brand whether you realize it or not. If you're just posting randomly, you don't know what you're talking about, or maybe you do know what you're talking about, but it doesn't follow a consistent sequence, or you're not consistent over time, over a long period of time. That's how you build brand. It's not quick, it's not easy. And I don't want to fluff this up and say you could build brand in a year. Yes, you can, I'm not, you could do that, and people have done that. But really, building brand is a long period of time. People need to say the same things about you. But let's say people are not saying the same things about you, and you want them to say the same things about you. So then it moves us to number 2. You have to do what is called branding. Branding with ing. This is what you want people to say about you. It is your identity and it is your messaging packed together. So there is this gap between your brand and your branding most of the times, especially if people are saying the things you don't want them to say about you. For example, if you are a family-owned business, but people think you're a corporation. Now, the brand is that you're a corporation, but your branding needs to face, and your messaging needs to bring up that you are actually a family-owned business. And so when you do branding over time, it becomes your brand. You influence your brand. It is the action. And people people seem to think that brand and branding are the same thing, but they are actually different things. You package your message, and you put it into a way that people understand. So now I have these other clients. They work in the dentistry industry, and they've had the same message for 20 plus years. Come to us and we'll help you fix your teeth. And so that messaging doesn't change. What do people know dentists for? Is to fix your teeth. They diagnose you, and then they give you a treatment plan, and then they help you with that treatment plan. And so it's easy in an industry where you already do one thing, but whatever it is that you're building, you have to figure out what your messaging is and how to package that message properly and put it out to people to understand who you are. So that is your branding, which influences your brand. Number 3, before I go to number 3, I'm going to give you this caveat that there is a hard way to build a brand. And that hard way is by copying other people's personal brand. Now, your personal brand should be personal to you. So when you are building your personal brand, it should be from your experiences, the things you've actually accomplished as a business or as a person, individual, or your passions, what you've done, And so, like, for example, if you are new in the space of creativity and creating your business, then you just bring people along the journey. This is what you're building. That's how you're going to build your personal brand. You don't have to come up with frameworks and strategies and X, Y, and Z, but you could still do branding with your identity and your messaging by what is actually you, what is personal to you. And then the next thing is doing it alone. Do not do this alone. That's the hard way to do it, is by doing it alone. And you have to find someone, either in this day and age, we have AI. AI could help you build your brand faster. It's an accelerator. It is not the ideation phase for you. You should have the ideas, put it into AI, and then AI should spit out what it could help you with by accelerating X, Y, and Z for you. So don't do it alone. Or the easiest way, especially as a creative business, is when you are working for your clients, just bring on someone to shoot BTS for you, whether photos and video or both, and start using that to capture what you're doing. And if you can't hire someone right now, use your phone. It's not as difficult as we tend to make things. Just bring your phone along with you and film what you're doing and then post that up. And we'll get to video content. It is part of this 5 things that you need to be doing to build a real brand. And the next thing is stop waiting for the perfect time. There is no such thing as perfect timing. Because if you are a Christian and you believe in God, then you should know that God is the only perfect being, is the only perfect spiritual being. And so whatever we create as imperfections all over it. So there is no such thing as perfect time. Now, there is things that could cross together as the right time, the right place, the right people. It could all intersect for sure. But if you're waiting for that to happen, you're going to be waiting for a long time. And most times we don't see those things happening as it happens. We just kind of fall into it. So when you're waiting for the perfect time, you're making this hard for yourself. So just start and just go. All right. The next thing is marketing. You have to sell. You have to promote yourself. You have to say this is what you can do for people and they have to pay you. So if you're creating a creative business, you have to move from being just the creative to actually operating a business. And they say this, you're not a business if no one pays you for it. Like literally the IRS, if you're filing taxes and you didn't make any money, then you're not a business. And so in order to actually become a business, you have to make money. And in order to make money, you have to sell. In order to sell, you have to promote. So that's what it boils marketing down to. I actually have this client. We did a bunch of her events last year. And this specific event that we did for her in September, she's doing another version of that in April. And so all the assets that we created for her, the video content, all that, she started posting that, I don't know, about 2 months ago. Some of them went viral, like 10x views and things like that, more followership and stuff like that. And she put out a wait list for her event in April. And in the span of, I don't know, 2 weeks or so, 50% was already filled up for the event just by posting video content and by using that video content to promote what she was doing and what she has coming up. And so that's marketing. You don't necessarily have to try to convince people. They just need to see it. They need to see what you're doing. And so you need to put it out there. The 4th thing is strategy. Strategy is your offer, the engine of your business. This is what gets your business going. Strategy is where your business is taking people. So where are you taking people? Where are you leading them to? How it's a funnel, it's a system. How are you taking them from A to B or A to Z, however you want to build that system? It is systems, how your business consistently runs and gets paid. It is, for some people, you could have an easy funnel like going from ads to a landing page to a phone call to swiping their credit card. For other people, it's a long play. It's a masterclass here every month, creating a masterclass. It is a retainer offer. It is a production package. It is a coaching cohort. It is a DM to sales pipeline. It is also social media ads that leads to funnels, which I already talked about. And so you have to figure out your strategy, the system that you want to allow people to be able to pay you and to be able to, for you to be able to get paid and remain in business as a creative business. And so my coach in business, Omar Otokori, he ran this play, basically just going from masterclass to a 3-day challenge or 5-day challenge. So one masterclass to a 5-day challenge to his program. And he ran that for a year and became a 7-figure earner just doing that. And so being in this program, I've been able to see what he does and seeing how that translates to my business. Now, everything that everyone does doesn't necessarily work for you. You have to figure out what works for you. As a person, as a business you're building, like, are you the type of person that wants to be on Zoom calls? Are you the type of people that want to be on phone call? Or do you just want to scratch that and go from to a funnel? You have to figure that out for yourself. And you have to create that strategy on how that would work for your business, because I'm the type of person that is like, everything doesn't necessarily work for you. We are all creatives in our rights. We're all business owners in our rights. And so you have to create what works for you as a creative and as a business owner. And so that's what I'll say about strategy. Direction beats effort every time. So if you have a direction as to where you're going, it's going to beat every effort that you're just running around doing this, doing that, but no direction with them. So if you truly want to win, you have to have a direction as to where you're going. You have to know the ingredients that fit, the ingredients that fit into your meal that you're cooking, because you could have the right ingredients as well. But if you are following the wrong recipe, it's not going to work for you. Again, you could have the right ingredients, but if you're following the wrong recipe, it's not going to work for you, because everyone is different. We're all different in the way that we do this. Yes, not everything is new under the sun, but you have to figure out what is this thing under the sun that works for you and your business. And so you have to make the type of meal that you want to eat at the end of the day. And so what are those recipes, and how does that work for the ingredients that you do have? The ingredients are your talents, your passions, the things that you get to offer. The recipe is the strategy in what you are following. And then the meal is the business. It's like, how do you want to eventually eat and feed your family and do all those types of things? That's what this is. And then the fifth one is, you must utilize video content, because in 2026 and moving on, if you're not using video content, then you are probably behind. There is a right way to do video and there's a wrong way to do video. So you have to learn, because video is the vehicle that builds the gap between your brand and your branding. Remember, I said there is sometimes a disparity in the middle of your brand and your branding. Like, maybe you want to be known as a family-owned business, but people think you're a corporation. In order to fill in that gap, you have to do what is called video content. Video is the vehicle that moves your message forward. Video is the vehicle that moves your branding to become a brand forward. And so you must do video content, because visibility builds trust faster than perfection ever will. Again, if you're waiting for that perfect time, that there is no perfect time. If you're waiting for that, then you're just getting lost. And that's why your competition and those people that may be less talented than you have more business than you, because they are actually building a brand. They are more visible. And so this is a detriment to creatives sometimes, is we are detrimented and by our craft. We want to build our craft. And if you're working on your craft all the time, then you are losing at something. It has to be bigger than just what your craft is, what the talent is. You have to understand how to be visible, how to market, how to promote, how to strategize, how to figure out all that thing. Sometimes you need a coach. Sometimes you need a community. Sometimes you need people to just be around you to help you build what it is that is in your head, get it out of your head and into paper. And that is sometimes the curse of the creative, is that you're so good at what you do, but no one knows that you're good at what you do. And you have to allow people to know what you're good at, what it is that you do. That's why I'm doing YouTube, is I know what I'm great at. And this communication thing has been a 2-year journey for me, starting a podcast and, even use, and I'll come to that story. I'll tease it, but I'll come back to it. Because I want to share this client story first. My client, she's in the beauty industry. And when she first came to me, she started with 5,000 followers. So she already had a following. There were people following her. And again, it's not about followers. I hate talking about followers and all that, but it is what the followers added to her business. And so now she's at almost 23,000 followers. A year of working with me with YouTube specifically. We built her YouTube channel. We post there once a week, and then we have recaps and stuff that we post on her Instagram. And so from there, it has built thousands more followers, more brand deals and brand partnerships have come from that. Basically, building her business, her revenue, and building what it is that she's doing as a person in the beauty industry, moving her closer to her goals and her dreams by using video content. And that's what video can do for you. That's what it has done for me. In my first year of starting my podcast, I added an extra 30 grand to my revenue by mistake, really. I just said I'm going to jump on this journey until I learn how to communicate properly. And I just wanted to do that. And from doing that, I was able to bring people onto my show that eventually became clients. That's how the beauty client, became a client, by bringing her onto my show. So that's a strategy in itself. And from there, working with her and other people, I was able to add 30 grand extra to my revenue. What would an extra 30 grand do for you? And so let's wrap all this together. We've talked about branding, marketing, strategy, and then video content. Now, if any of this is missing, then you're not building a brand properly, especially video content, because that's a vehicle. If you wanted to travel from your home to your workplace or to a client's place, you need some kind of transportation. You need a vehicle to get you there. And so if you're not doing video content, then there is no vehicle getting you from point A to point B. And that's why video content is actually one of the most important ones. They're all important and they all work together. But without video, the other four just sit in your head. Because video is a vehicle that gets it out. It gets your message out. It gets your marketing out. It gets your strategy out. And it gets people to see your brand and see what you're building. And so 2026, you need to start doing video. And that's all I got for you today. Those are the 5 things that you really need to start doing to build a real brand. And if you're watching this still, tell me in the comments, what resonates with you the most? What are you doing? What are you not doing? What are you going to add to what you've been doing? And hopefully this was a message that resonates with you. Give me a subscribe, a like, share with someone else that you would love for them to understand this message and this video. Until next time, see you. Peace.